Vocal textures in singing come from some different places. So the first idea always, as you hear me say in some other instructional samples and my instructional material in the art of body singing, is to just have this great touch to begin with, and to have this really well lined up voice where you're touching this anchor all the time that I talk about. Ah, ah, ah. This is really the beginning of voice for us as tone as we know it. To be really well supported, not pushing, supported, etc. I talk about this in some other examples. And then textures come from different places. So air is a great texture, but it has a lot of ways it can go. So one, it can be a softener. So if I just take a very nice basic tone and I begin to let some air slip by, which is what's happening, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing, I'm just going to get a softer tone, and that can be great. So it could be something like this. Ah, 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 ah. So went from softening, went back to nowhere, and then I let some air go again, and just hear it really soften the blow, so to speak, and take some of that kind of bite off that tone. That bite, by the way, is what gets us projection in tone. Ah, 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 so it's key to us. And what I say a lot is if you can make that sound charming without air, then when air comes in, you've got something. Because when air does come in, what you want is for this to stay vibrant. It's very typical that if we let air slip, we lose the vibrancy. Something like, ah, 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 ah. Where's the tone in there? I want to get a blend of that. And that's what that really comes down to, and some refer to it as such. I call it the ratios in singing, the ratios of air to tone. So textures have a lot to do with your vibrancy and your air ratio. That's for sure. And that gets developed into how you work energy, and then how you can add some other resonances. Throat resonances are certainly something that at a more advanced stage, unless it just comes very easily to you and is something that causes you no trouble, adds a texture. I'm just adding a little of a glottal fry to the tone. So it's something I mix in there with it. And so there are many ways that can go. And then understanding your tone controls are going to greatly influence your texture in singing. And by tone controls, and I talk about this a lot in the art of body singing, really knowing up and down. Do I know those directions? If I do, I can lean one way or the other. Kind of in the middle, got a little brighter, got a little deeper, back to the middle. These are great fun. And once they're just at your fingertips, then they become part of your expression and become natural and instinctive. And they just can add a lot to your singing and make things varied and make things appropriate. So from one song to the next, you've got something more to offer to really sell that song and have fun with, which is what this is all about. So work on understanding what your different possibilities for textures are, and then incorporating those into your warm-up, for one, because the more you do it in the warm-up, the more easily it's just going to come to you in your singing. So have fun with that.